We get tired of working in the classroom math all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there are other places where math can be learned. I think it's very important for kids to see how math plays a part in everyday life.
Math has to do with everything.
Ain't no way you could get around math. Everything is math.
Math is life. Math is everything.
There's a wealth of mathematics all around us. I want students to see that math class doesn't just take place within the classroom, but that math class can be anywhere in the city. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Ms. Toliver.
This morning I'm going to talk to you about your math trail project. First of all, does anyone know what is a trail? Francis, what's a trail?
A trail's sort of like a path that takes you somewhere.
Exactly. And that's what you're going to be creating, a path that's going to take you somewhere. We're going to start here at our school, and then we're going to walk through a few blocks in our community. And what are you going to be looking for? The mathematics that's in our neighborhood. The math trail really evolved out of the need to help my students to develop a greater appreciation of our community. How many of you know that there's a plaque downstairs at the 104th Street door that tells when our school was erected? That's where our trail is going to begin. You'll decide on what things in our community you want to highlight. You're going to look and see where it is you can find math. In the buildings, in the streets, in the stores, the houses. In exploring the community, students get to see how math is used in the neighborhood, making the math come alive. Using the knowledge that you have in mathematics, you will develop problem-solving situations at each of the spots that you pick. And then you will become the makers of a book of problems. It's their time to show their understanding of the various topics that have been covered in the curriculum, because they are the creators, they are the developers. First of all, this is a group activity. Each group will decide on who's going to be their manager.
Up at the statue of Alexander Hamilton and find out what year he died.
How much time was there between 1849?
One person needs to serve as a recorder. Each group will have to have a photographer. Then all the rest of you are the people who will keep the group together, supporting one another, seeing that work is done. When you're working in a group activity, it's not for just that one person in the group who may know it all to begin with to know it. Everyone in the group has to contribute. But it's a responsibility of being a part of a group that everyone has and gets the correct information, so that they have to help one another. You'll also have to give directions so that a person who begins in our school plaque will know where they go, first, second, third, and so on. And all your directions will lead us through a few blocks in the community, but that trail has to bring us back home. There's a lot of math right outside our doors, and that's what you're going to find out. Okay, we're at site number 1, which is 104th Street and 5th Avenue, known as Museum Mile. What are some things here that you think you might develop some questions about?
This, right here, the square. Ask them to find the perimeter and then the area.
With the trail, the topics in mathematics that are taught in the classroom are sort of complemented by working outside on the streets in the city.
You could say, like, there's 2 hours and it's 25 cents. If it was for 24 hours, how much would the owner of the car have to pay in the parking machine?
How many people do you think could sit on the benches?
6.
Let's go see.
2 in each. I think 3 in each section.
Now, let's take a look then. How many benches do we have down here approximately?
There's 4 on this side and there's 4 on this side.
Okay, so could you write up a problem in relationship to the number of people who can sit on the benches?
How many people?
And when you can actually say, I can go outside and I can find polygons,
We could do something about these rectangles.
and I can recognize a polyhedron. I think that makes mathematics more real to students.
How many times do you go up and down the steps in 1 minute?
Go.
It's hooking it in to everyday situations, and they can see it in the things in their environment.
Is that a fountain? Do you think you could use some information here to write a question?
Could you make a line symmetry?
Oh, looking at the letters, lines of symmetry, good. Oh,
It goes from here straight down to the middle.
okay, so you've got a...
And I think it helps to bring about more creativity in students, and they become more free in their thinking and less inhibited.
How many quadrilaterals can you find on the park floor?
Stand here for a minute and see how many trains go by. Then multiply that by 60 and find out how many come out in an hour.
How about over there? You could say, what is the probability of the light turning green?
Students' knowledge of math that are not always indicated on a paper and pencil test can suddenly be highlighted when you're out in the street and a student looks up at a building and they say, "Ooh, Miss Toliver."
There's a right angle on top of the building.
Hey, that's learning. That's knowledge. I don't need any other assessment. Then I know that student understands.
Okay, how y'all doing over here?
All right.
We're
All right.
doing okay.
You doing okay? Have you come up with some nice questions?
Yes.
Okay, when we get back in the classroom, then you can sort of sit down and start writing up what you want to do. Let's go back to the school now.
We're gonna start from PS7 to East Harlem Tech. You will go out the door, go down the steps, turn to your right, and you will keep on walking straight to Fifth Avenue.
There has to be that room for freedom so that they can take what they know and expand it into the far and the unknown.
Look on the ground and find one of the squares of 104th and 5th Avenue and find the perimeter and area by using your feet.
She really made us feel like we did a good job.
Start at the gate of the quiet zone. It's in 104th Street, Central Park. Walk down the steps. Stop when you get to the bottom and turn left. Then stand by the benches and look at the trees. What angles do you see?
I have a good teacher that makes me think, not just sit around.
Make one more right, and then look straight ahead, and there will be 5 or 6 windows. What's the name of that shape of those windows?
Walk a little more and turn left. You will see a staircase.
Approximately how many times could a kid around 12 or 14 run up and down a 7-step staircase in 1 minute in Central Park?
It is hard, but it doesn't seem hard because she makes it fun.
It's challenging.
They're the creators, they're the doers, rather than the teachers just going to the board constantly and say, here are 6 algebraic equations, solve them. They write, they create. And I believe in that a lot.